And I think the parents need to just say, like, look, what are you into? What are
Mm,
you committed to? What's your passion?
yep,
And I think that parents want to dictate to their kids so much that
yep,
they're not giving their kids a chance to contribute to their own development.
got you,
And I think
got
that's the biggest obstacle is parents are like, oh, well, when I was young, I played ball and I was good, but we didn't have AAU and we didn't have trainers and we didn't have
you.
Instagram videos. So if he inherits a little bit of my natural ability plus some training in a team environment and a
Mhm.
competitive environment earlier, he could be way better than me. So that's what he's doing.
Yeah, got you.
Well, no matter how much you want that for him, if he's not excited for it, if he doesn't have a passion for it,
Exactly.
he's not going to commit and get the best version of himself out there. So I
Mhm,
think parents are afraid to have those tough conversations because I have heard parents and kids have those conversations when the kids buy in. It's
mhm.
beautiful.
Yeah,
Like I've had parents tell me, like, parents standing next to the kid, like, hey, tell coach what you just told me.
yeah.
Tell coach what we were talking about Sunday. And the kids are like, coach, I want to be, like, I know it sounds crazy, but I want to be the best basketball player ever.
Nice.
And I said, you
Absolutely.
know what? It's not crazy
Mhm.
because Michael
Nice.
Jordan was a 10-year-old fourth grader at one point.
Mhm. Yep,
Michael Jordan got cut from his high school team.
yep.
So a lot of time you get cut from your freshman team, the chance of
Mhm.
making your sophomore team is slim to none.
Got you.
You'll make the team by the sophomore year. You're probably not playing high school basketball. Like, if you really want to be realistic, Michael Jordan was that close to not playing ball.
Mhm. Got you. Yep, yep.
And this happens as a 15 or a 14-year-old high school freshman.
Got you. Nice.
You know
That's
what I
good.
mean?
Yes,
So it's
sir.
like,
Yes, sir.
yeah, it sounds crazy, but LeBron James was a 10-year-old fourth grade boy at one point.
Mhm. Yep.
So
Absolutely.
was Kevin Durant. So
All
was
of them.
Steph Curry. You know what
All
I'm
of them.
saying? So
Yeah. They
I
had to
just
work.
look at it and I
They had to
tell
put in
these
that
kids,
real work, that consistency, but they had the passion. Nobody
yeah,
has to tell Steph Curry to
that's
go
it.
drop 100 threes, every day, but he does it without
That's
anybody,
it.
even if it's
That's
that
it.
much.
It's the passion. And that's what I think the parents are lacking
Hmm.
is find out what your kids are genuinely, sincerely passionate about as
Hmm.
early as possible
Hmm.
and ride that passion. Give them the
Hmm.
tools they need to pursue their passion, support their passion,
Hmm.
give
Got
them, be at every game, be at every swim meet, be at every track meet. If you can't be there, have somebody who is there, FaceTime it, Skype
got you.
it, have somebody go Facebook live and record it and go back and
Yeah.
watch it and then tell your kids how they did good or what they could do better at. And
Yep.
oh, you look so much better in game 5 than game 1. Like, figure out what your kids are passionate about and ride that passion because things change. Kids will be
Hmm.
in, kids love dinosaurs when they're in second grade. By fifth grade,
Hmm.
they're like, no, I don't want to do that.
Got you.
I
Got
don't
you.
want to dig
Exactly.
up dinosaur bones because I figured out how much school goes into it. Kids love building Legos and they want to build big buildings. And then they figure out the math that goes into being an architect. And they're like,
Yep.
eh.
All the extra
But
stuff. Yep. Yep.
but as far as like physical stuff, if they have a passion for it and then they learn, oh, I'm passionate about something that's going to help me get to school, help me meet people, help me stay in shape,
Yep.
give me an advantage over kids that don't do this, whether it's weightlifting, playing
Hmm.
sports, running, cross country, whatever.
Yep.
Ride that passion as long as you can, because if that passion becomes a lifestyle, that's what changes.
Got you.
And
Exactly.
that's what we had. It
Hmm.
was
Exactly.
wake up every day, get on the bike. I'm going over to the homie's house, knocking on the door. Can
Hmm.
Ron come out and play?
Yep.
Hey man, get on your bike. Brush your teeth, get on your bike. We're going to the park.
We're going
Hey,
to the
we're
park.
playing
Yeah.
stickball
That
in the street.
encouragement.
Hey, we're playing two-hand touch at the park. We got them kids from the other school on the other side of town riding their bikes over, and it's us against them. Oh, there's
Hmm.
girls. Okay. Both teams got to get a girl. Only the girls can cover each other. And
Yep.
we got to throw to the girls once every 4 downs.
Yep.
You get to the
Nice.
stick, you get to the tree, that's midfield. You get 4 downs to get there, and then you get 4 downs to score. Like, that's what
Gotcha.
it was. And those are the kids who went on to play high school ball.
Yeah,
Those are
exactly.
the kids
Yeah.
that went to college. Those are the kids coaching our little league football teams now.
Hmm.
So
Big.
if I had advice, I tell the parents, find out what your kids are passionate about and ride that passion,
Gotcha.
support it,
Gotcha.
and
So
and
so
blow it
let
up.
let, let me give you kind of a real crazy. question of the best you can to analyze. Um, on a positive note as well as a negative note, how do you see the current wave of what's happening right now with everything, with kind of the lack, the kind of maybe support, maybe the kind of encouragement parents have to give towards the kids? We're going to see how the youth is in another 10 years,
Mhm.
both positively and negatively, as far as what it is now. But if we correct and do the kind of stuff that you were talking about, like I said, on a positive note, how could it be? Give me both perspectives. What realistic, and then if we make the improvements.
I think if I think if things continue the way that they are, we're going to see a drastic drop in just overall extracurricular activity. I
Mm,
feel like there's a lot of distractions. I feel like with the complacency of a lot of kids that don't
mm,
want to go out and compete, or they don't want to be passionate about something, I think with the current state of where things are, it
mm,
could potentially get worse before it gets better. On
mm,
top of that, you throw in COVID. We had a
mm,
bunch of parents that when COVID first hit and the kids couldn't go to school and the kids couldn't go to practice and they shut down our leagues and our games, I
mm,
had parents that literally called me and said, outside of basketball and his teammates that he hangs out with outside of basketball, and then his friends from school that he hangs out with outside of school, and now he can't be around any of them.
yeah.
It created a social disorder. It
Mm,
mentally affected the kids, and then the parents were like, the second we can come back, even
wow.
if it's no contact drills, if it's
Mm,
you doing ball handling drills on a Skype and they follow along, like
yeah.
he needs to be able to interact. And so
Gotcha.
what we ended up doing was we did ball handling drills and a bunch of other stuff. And then I left the Zoom open
Hmm.
and let the kids just talk to each other because they didn't have any other way to communicate for 2.5 months.
Wow.
And
Gotcha.
so I've even had parents tell me like, my kid's going through depression because he can't be around other kids when the
Got
COVID
you.
first hit.
Got
And then
you.
with the whole school schedules, now they're in school for 2 days and they're out of school for 3 days and there's no school on Fridays. And it's just,
Mm,
I've had parents actually tell me like, when my kid couldn't go to practice, he lost the passion. And then when everything restarted, he didn't want to come back.
got you.
And
Yep.
that was just on them being excited for something. And then that flame just kind of wore out.
Yep.
And then
Yep.
when it came back, they were just kind of like, man.
Yeah. Sure.
So I think the way things are going right now, yeah, things are opening up a little bit and we're able to do things here and there. But I definitely think between the technology and the lack of involvement and the feeling forced to do things, I think we could more likely see a decline in activity than
Hmm.
an incline.
Yeah.
Um, on the flip side, I think if parents do find out what their kids are passionate about and support it and encourage it and promote it, I think that there's a balance. I think that
Mm,
there's a regulation between being on the technology and on the phones and on the video games every free second,
mhm.
and then also being out and interacting and doing extracurriculars and things like that.
You need
I
both.
just I personally feel like the biggest obstacle keeping us from moving more towards the positive is
Mhm.
that parents, especially today with all the crazy stuff going on outside the world, everybody knows all the stuff going on around the country
Yep.
and you know all the everything.
Mm,
Um, I think parents are trying to build more friendships
got you.
than parent-child relationships.
Hmm.
And I think the
Interesting.
compromise of that turns out that the kids don't feel as obligated to be like, okay, well, dad said that I got to do this, this, or this. So I'm going to do that. It's like, oh, yeah, it was a good suggestion.
Yeah.
If I don't buy
Exactly.
in, there's no consequences because he's not going to ground me. What's he going to
Exactly.
do? He's not going to like take everything away. And parents are afraid to be that disciplinarian because they want to
Got
be
you.
friends.
I
So
agree.
I think that's what the problem is, but I think that's also part of the solution. And that's
Mm,
the beauty of coaching, man.
yeah.
Honestly, it's like I get to be that mediator. I've had
Mm,
I've had parents come to me and say, you know, my son came home and said, "Hey, coach said that I should be doing this."
Yeah,
So that's what I'm doing.
exactly.
Coach said that for me to help my team be more competitive, I need to be doing this. So can we
Yeah,
go to
exactly.
the church or go to the school or go to the park and get these drills in?
Mhm.
And dad said, "But I've been telling you that for 6 months. I've literally been telling you this
Ain't
for
that
6 months.
something,
But
boy?
because coach says it, now it's gospel. Now it's the law. Oh, coach said it. Now if you don't do it and coach doesn't see you getting better, now you're not going to
Ooh,
play as much. Now you're
man.
coming off the bench."
Yeah,
And
that is
so,
crazy.
and that's the fun part is, um, it is that's kind of the beauty of what I do, man, is like I get to teach these kids lessons through
Mhm,
sports that apply to
mhm.
life outside of sports. That's what this whole
Gotcha.
thing's about. I'm not getting rich off of this.
Mhm.
Um, Coaching basketball, running my youth basketball program. Shout out Utah Legacy Youth
Yep, yep.
Basketball.
Mhm,
Um, Running my program is what I do.
mhm.
So
Happy
I'll
for
I'll
that.
set up practice schedules and meetings and fundraisers and community involvement during the day, and then
Mhm,
practice at night, coach games on the weekend, travel for tournaments, whatever. But that's the beauty of what I do is I always tell my motto is, and I tell every parent this on the first day that I sit down with them. If
mhm.
your kids only become better basketball players
Got
from being in my program, I'm wasting their time and I'm wasting your money
gotcha.
because I have a platform that I can teach these kids life lessons through sports.
Mhm.
And they'll listen to me because I'm not mom and dad. I'm not there
Gotcha.
preaching every day, every night, get up, do this, do that. I'm kind of a commodity. I'm like the special occasion. I'm the
Mm,
I'm the outside influence. And so
mhm.
the beauty of it is I tell kids all the time, like, what are we learning in basketball that applies outside of basketball?
Gotcha.
Competitiveness. We don't
Right.
ever want to lose. We
Mhm,
go to practice and we run drills and we scrimmage. So when we show up at the game, we perform well. But do
mhm,
we win every game? No.
mhm.
So what
Exactly.
does that mean in life? What are you going to do when you work a job and you're doing everything you got to do to apply for that promotion and you go in and you interview and you think that you're right on your A's and you're
Feeding
dotting
too.
your I's and crossing your T's
Yep,
and
yep.
all your shit's in line and you're just like, hey, we got this. And then somebody else gets the job.
Got you. Yep.
You throw a
Absolutely.
tantrum,
That's gonna be a complete flip, you know what I mean? A
that's a
complete
flip.
flip of
Like you
everything because you
walk
didn't
in
perform to the
thinking like,
best.
I got this. I got this. This is my job. My homeboy in HR put me up on it. I sent him the resume. I didn't
Mhm,
even apply. He applied for me. He got me my interview. I'm in there.
mhm.
Just
Gotcha.
like we go to practice, we're running drills. We look at the schedule. We're 4-2. We're playing an 0-5 team. Oh yeah, we about to smash these dudes.
Got you. Yeah.
And then they end up winning by 6.
'Cause yeah,
And
you're not
everybody's
ready.
like, "How did we
We're
lose
mentally
to those
prepared. We're
guys?"
mentally trying to get into it. Just mentally just yeah, it's already done. It's a
It's
done
already
deal.
done. So
Mhm.
then it's like, so then I tell people there's going to come times in life after you're done playing basketball that you're going to think it's a done deal
Yep.
and it doesn't work out the way you thought it would. We didn't
We
think we
seen
were
it.
going to lose to the 0-5 team, but we
Mhm.
did. So now it's back to practice.
Exactly. Start the
When
starting
we
point.
don't get the job, then what do? Do you go back and talk crap and get mad and be pissed off you didn't get the job, or do you
It's
find
the
out why you
it's
didn't
the
get it?
government, it's everybody else's fault, it's all this kind of stuff,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Or
Or do you
yeah,
go back to your desk and you figure out why you didn't get the job and you prepare yourself better for the next time? There's
absolutely.
life lessons like that all over the place in youth sports.
Exactly.
Competitiveness. Uh, uh, I mean, there's a bunch. So we could talk about, shaking your opponent's hand after a game. You
Mhm.
win by
Mhm.
50, you lose by 50. Go show some respect to the opponent.
Mhm.
Um, Always respecting the refs, always respecting the people in charge of the game. My kids aren't allowed to talk to the ref. If the
Mhm.
ref made a bad call, if you're getting pushed, if you're getting fouled, if he's holding you, if
Yep.
he's moving on the screen, you come tell me and I'll go
Mhm.
talk to the ref.
Exactly.
You don't take
Exactly.
things into your own hands. So
Mm.
what does that mean in the real world? So you get into it with your neighbor because he's being loud and you ask him to be quiet and he tells you to shut the F up. And
Mhm.
then do you go over there and you try to get confrontational with him or do you call somebody like, hey, HOA, what's going on?
Yep.
How do we handle this?
Y'all gotta
How do
come
we
handle
handle this? I don't want to call the cops on him. I'm not that guy, but
this.
what do we need to do?
Yeah, but
You
something
don't
needs to
take
be taken
matters
care
into
of
your own
because
hands.
this because this level we getting into and what's going on, this scene right now is not working, so we
Right.
have to change it up a lot and figure
Right.
something else out because this is unacceptable. We don't want to get crazy. We don't want to get aggressive, but
Yeah.
we got to handle this cordially or some way to make sure both of us are satisfied. I agree. Yeah.
Right. And I'm using, the noisy neighbor next door or not getting the job, but this it could be looked at on a much bigger scale too. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. That's big.
So
That's big. Huge, huge. LC, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful talk, man. That's some big things. You guys got to check this out because that's big. Tell them your organization again, what you're doing, name it, all that kind of stuff.
yeah, definitely. The youth basketball program, Utah Legacy Youth Basketball website, Utah Legacy FDN, like foundation, Utah Legacy FDN.org. Instagram is Utah Legacy Foundation. Um, yeah, man, it's been amazing. Started this thing, got laid off from work,
Mm.
decided I'd just train some kids over the summer.
Yep.
And by the end of the summer, I was like, how do I turn basketball into a career and not just a hobby or a job? I
Absolutely.
restructured the program. I brought in new coaches. I grew the program. We brought in some cool kids. We got amazing, amazing parents that are
Nice.
always getting involved in things off the court. And we're able to take 130 kids and get them involved in things that they're not usually a part of. So, yeah, man, Utah Legacy has been a blessing. Check it out. Instagram page is there. So,
Nice.
yeah,
Beautiful, beautiful. LC, thanks. Beautiful, beautiful topic, man. Enjoyed it. It's all good.
definitely. Thanks for having me, man. I appreciate it.